Howdy, Jacob here. Today I'm going to go over something a little different. So I usually go over present value of companies on free cash flow and earnings basis. But again, if you saw my last video on, um, I think it came out the 27th, I've been reading The Psychology of Money, and I had a different thing I wanted to go over today. And this is very different than what I want to be doing. So the whole reason I'm doing this video is, again, I've been reading Psychology of Money or listening to the audiobook with my wife, and it's just so interesting to see how we view money so differently. I know for me, I try to make everything numbers based. So if I can choose A or B over the long run and A saves me 1% rather than B, I just go with A no matter what. And so if I bring this to an example, we can see that if you purchase a house that might be a little bit outside of your comfort zone right now, to me, if I were to look at numbers and it would be greater than 25% of my income, I would say that I don't want to go into this house. I don't want to go buy into this property knowing that my monthly payments are going to be greater than 25%. But there are times that you can go against what the numbers say. And so in that example, it's okay to pay a little bit more. I'm not saying pay 50% of your income or anything, or pay for a house that mortgage is 50% of your income. But if it is 26, 27, 28, 29, 30%, whatever your threshold is, and it's a little bit past that, it's okay if it makes both of your lives better, you and your significant other's lives better. And so please think about that. Um, when you make decisions. I know I'm such a numbers oriented individual, and so I try to make everything about numbers. But sometimes it's okay to choose things that aren't necessarily numbers based. And so another example I want to go over, and then this will be a quick video. The last thing I wanted to go over was buying down a house. And so I currently have a little over 3% interest rate on my house as my mortgage, and it just, to me, at this moment would seem absolutely ridiculous to pay that down with so many years of growth ahead of me from investment standpoint. If I can even make 7%, 7% going to compound itself is going to make way more than paying off my 3% mortgage rate. But there's such a balance. There's a balance to everything, and so I'm not saying financially it makes sense, because you can look at the numbers and it doesn't make sense at all. But if I were to be in my 50s, about to retire, maybe it would make sense emotionally to pay off that debt and just be debt free. And so there's so many things that you could take this into consideration, because I mean, again, I'm such a numbers oriented individual. So to me, I would just think, why would I ever pay that off? That's the dumbest thing ever. That financially is makes absolutely no sense. And again, for a 20 some year old, 30 some year old, if you're way away from retirement, that can be pretty detrimental from a growth standpoint. If you were to pay down a 3% debt rather than invest in the market and make a fairly conservative 7% compounding on itself for 20 years, it seems very silly. But for you just have to think that there are times that you have to go away from your numbers based, numbers oriented system and take into consideration the emotions of individuals that you love. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the little bit different video. Again, I've just been reading Psychology of Money, and I definitely don't get anything if you read it, but I do highly suggest it. I think it's a fantastic book. I'm like 75% done with it. And I mean, the stories are absolutely fantastic. He tells it in, I believe it's 20 different stories. So puts it in things that are easily conceivable. And I mean, it's just a great thing to go over if you're invested or interested in investing, or if you just want to have a financially literate conversation with your significant other, because I know finances can be a huge hindrance for individuals in their marriages or partnership. And so I think that being able to talk about money freely and just understanding their perspective while they're able to understand your perspective is such a powerful thing. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the video and has a great rest of their day. Thank you so much.